Treasure, secrets, mystery. Bornholm's round churches date from the Crusades. They show traces of the influence of the Knights Templar, most famous fighting monks of the Middle Ages. Here is one of the most interesting and important of the Bornholm churches. This is Österlas, a truly magnificent round church, so like the Templar round Capelli Militium. Bornholm has 4 such round churches, and in this regard they are unique, not just on Bornholm, but in the whole of Denmark. They are special, and now we can begin to sense how special they are. Österlas Church sits at the heart of the geometry, like a spider at the centre of its web. On the other side of the island is another round church, Nylas, and Österlas and Nylas define a circle which has Rutsker Church on its circumference. And this is how the church of Vestermarie is located. As a demonstration of the precision of measure which is being employed, this distance is exactly 1/4 of the circle's radius. And with a 6-sided star, Olskirke Church is fixed. Olske is another of the beautiful round churches of Bornholm. Interestingly, historians have long been puzzled by the precise placing of this church. One would have expected it to have been built at the top of the hill. Why was it placed 150 metres down the hillside? But now we need no longer wonder. The geometric layout dictates its placing with superb accuracy. Later we shall find that this same point has other remarkable implications. Let's return to the geometry. Olsker Church has indicated a hexagon, a 6-pointed star, and it is created in a beautiful and very elegant way by the very nature of a circle. The 4 round churches are the key. Their placing appears to be arbitrary, but in fact it demonstrates an incredibly sophisticated geometry. Here we are confronting the ancient mysteries of the square and the circle. The circle inscribed within the square has Klemsker Church on its circumference. And this church defines a 7-sided figure. Another star shape to remind us perhaps of the 7 visible planets or the 7 days of the week. From Klemsker on the 7-pointed star through yet another church, Rö, we pinpoint again the tiny island of Christiansø, 24 kilometres from Bornholm. With Österlas Christiansø as a radius, we can describe a circle which completely encloses Bornholm, and an equilateral triangle within that circle and based on Christiansø contains a smaller circle on whose rim lies the church of Ibske. And the distance from Österlas to Ibske is exactly the same as the distance between the 2 round churches of Olske and Nykke. It's as if we're in the presence of a skilled teacher who's trying to show us how to solve a complex problem. Perhaps the layout of Bornholm is a training ground, solis sacerdotibus, only for the initiated. Whoever designed this wonder was amazingly skilled. Even with the sophisticated techniques of the 20th century, the problem is a tricky one. How much more tricky would it have been, not merely to solve it theoretically, but to lay it out as if on a blackboard across miles of open countryside? And back in a remote past, when, as far as we know, such skills did not exist. They seem to have left us a marvel which must be compared with the wonders of the ancient world. The church is built on 3 levels. It is a tool for precise surveying. Originally there was no roof. The top consisted of a rotunda with a surrounding rampart. Today the ramparts have been heightened in order to support the conical roof. But once these windows had a clear view. You can see how carefully the stones have been shaped and cut. The plans show how precisely these openings have been placed around the rotunda, and the angles have been skillfully chosen. From the inner circle of the rotunda, the placings become even more interesting. There's a perfect alignment through this window and the one beyond. And of course, before the walls were heightened, the view continued to the exterior. Now, what can have been the purpose of these accurately placed window alignments? Well, let me show you something. From this spot, the candle is clearly visible, but a tiny movement to one side or the other, and the flame will disappear. Let me show you something as one final and beautiful piece of evidence, one clear and magnificent example of what I mean. Each morning, we watch the sunrise to bring in a new day. For them, that great bringer of light and life was a manifestation of the harmonious workings of God's universe. At Bornholm, the geometric wonder reaches its full and finest development. If we are right, the initiates could even have marked out for themselves a beautifully accurate calendar. And if they decided to do this, then this window should fix the summer solstice. As we can see, the inner windows are very precisely shaped. One of them fortunately still retains its view through the new outer wall. And on June the 21st, Midsummer Day, the day of the summer solstice, we can still experience the precision of the alignments. Today, on June the 21st, the first beams of the rising sun will strike this round opening. It will be an infallible marker for the dawn of the longest day and the beginning of the sun's slow descent into winter. And here, with the rising of the midsummer sun, we catch a tiny glimpse of the wonder which has been through so many long centuries, so utterly and mysteriously forgotten.